Make the ground shake.
So, hey guys, what is going on? My name is Gummy, and today we are here with another statue tutorial again from the Suicide Squad film, which is coming out in the very near future, again early August in US and Europe. So, today we are doing Harley Quinn, and I did before the Joker, so if you want to check that out, there will be a link in the description, as well as a link to the Suicide Squad playlist if you want to check out all the other videos I've done if you're watching this later down the line. So, anyways, the materials you're going to need, and you'll need quite a lot of them, is quartz, black wool, grey wool, light grey wool, stone, cyan stained clay, white stained clay, red wool, yellow wool, pink wool, magenta wool, purple wool, pink stained clay, red stained clay, light grey stained clay, yellow stained clay, blue stained clay, blue wool, light blue stained clay, oak wood stairs, and spruce wood stairs. So, again, quite a lot of blocks, but it's because Harley Quinn has tons of colour, and I've really worked really hard on this design to make it as detailed as it can possibly be. So that's pretty much the reason why there's tons of blocks and tons of different colours, and the tutorial is probably going to be relatively long, so hopefully you'll stick around. Anyways, if you want to pause here, grab them blocks into your inventory, that'll be great. Also, if you're on console, grab yourself a map because it makes life easier. If you're on PC, don't worry about that, just press F3 and it works just as good. So with that said, what we're going to do is start on the legs. The legs are 12 tall and 8 wide. We're going to find a nice empty area. I'm not really struggling with that. I have a nice empty world. So what we're going to do is go to where you want to build it, and you're going to place one black wool. Next to that, 2 quartz, 2 black wool, 2 quartz, 1 black wool. So if you're building this in a relatively small area, just to give you an idea of the dimensions we're going to be working with, the body is going to extend over 4 to the left and 4 to the right. So you're going to need at least a 4 block gap on either side. It's going to extend 2 to 3 blocks forwards, and then the actual bat itself will be about 6 to 7 blocks forwards, and then it's going to go 6 to 7 blocks back. So that's just to give you a bit of an idea of the kind of area you're going to be working with if you need to make space for it. So again, about 7 back, about 7 forwards if you're including the bat, about 2 forwards, 3 forwards if you're not, and then 4 to each side. So with that said, continuing with the build, the second layer is 1 light grey, 2 quartz, 2 light grey, 2 quartz, 1 light grey. The third layer is 1 stone, 1 grey wool, 1 black wool, 2 stone, 1 black wool, 1 grey wool, 1 stone. The next row is 1 light grey, 1 cyan, 1 black wool, 2 light grey, 1 black wool, 1 cyan, 1 light grey. So again, currently is 4 blocks tall. The next layer is 1 white stained clay, 1 cyan, 1 black wool, 2 white stained clay, 1 black wool, 1 cyan, 1 white stained clay. The next 5 layers is 8 white stained clay, so that's the first one. That is the second. That is our third, fourth, and 5th layer, if I don't mess it up. I'm messing every block up here. There you go, 5th layer of white stained clay. So, again, it should currently be 10 blocks tall. The 11th layer is 2 white stained clay, 2 red wool. This is where we're going to need to, mess around with our inventory a bit here. 2 blue stained clay, 2 white stained clay. And the 12th and final layer for now is 4 red wool and 4 blue stained clay. So once you've done that, it should look something like this. Now that is 12 tall and 8 wide, and to prove it to you, this is where your map or F3 key comes in handy. If you go to the floor level, you see here, my Y coordinate goes up if I go up, down if I go down. My floor coordinates when I'm standing on the floor is Y5. Yours may be different, so please do check. Yours say maybe Y10, Y15, Y20, or it could even be Y1, who knows. But what we're going to do is figure out what's 12 on top of your y coordinate. So in my case it's 17. Again, if yours was say 10, it would be 22. If yours is 15, it'd be 27. So you want to go up to the top of your statue and sit on top of it. So you just want to sit there, and as you can see mine's y17. That proves that it's 12 tall. Now I mean, alternatively you could come to the side and count up 12. But once we build on and we get more and more numbers, it's going to take you more and more time to count it. So it's just a useful little tip, which is very, very easy to do. So with that said, again, that is 12 tall and 8 wide, and that is the legs complete. So now what we're going to do is move on to the body. So for the body, what we're going to do, again, we're going to have to play around with inventory a bit. This is going to be a bit tricky. Is we're going to need our yellow stained clay. And we're going to start off by placing one yellow stained clay on the left and one on the right. We're then, on the left side, going to go one to the left using white stained clay, one light grey, two white stained clay. So it overextends 4 blocks to the left. On the right side, we're going to do the exact same. So one to the right using white stained clay, one light grey, and two white stained clay. And essentially, it's a 4 block overhang on each side, and that just marks out where the hands start. And it means we can come back later on and work on that without, again, having to count. So, any corners we can cut, I'm pretty much doing here, but again, it's pretty much for your benefit. So, ignoring the hands now and ignoring the arms, we'll come back to that later on. What we're going to do now is continue with the body. So, in between this yellow stained clay on either side here, we're going to place 2 black wool, 2 yellow stained clay, 2 black wool. So that's the first layer of the body. The second layer is 8 white stained clay. So we start on top of this yellow stained clay here, and we build across 7, so it's 8 in total until we're above this yellow stained clay right there. So what we're next going to do, this is where we're kind of splitting it in half a bit. We're going to leave a 2 block gap on the left side and place 4 white stained clay, and there should be a 2 block gap on this side. On top of this, we're going to place 2 more layers of 4 white stained clay. So it's currently 3 tall, 4 wide. On top of this, we're going to place 1 stone, 2 light grey, 1 stone. On top of that, we place 2 light grey, 1 quartz, 1 light grey. On top of that, we place 1 stone, 2 light grey, 1 stone. On top of that, we place 1 quartz, 2 pink stained clay, 1 quartz. Then we place 4 pink stained clay, and we build up 1 on the left, 1 on the right. In between these 2 blocks, we place 2 white stained clay, and on top of that, we place 4 white stained clay. As you can see, it should be a big old pillar now that separates the left side and the right side. It should be 10 tall, and 4 wide, and then the 2 layers down here will be the 11th and 12th layer. So again, just to prove that we are on track and I'm not deceiving all of you, as you can see here, the coordinates is y29 and floor is y5. So that means that this is currently 24 tall, 12 tall for the body, 12 tall for the legs. So again, that's what it looks like so far. Now, you're probably wondering what's happening with the left and the right side, and this is where we're going with our colour split that Harley Quinn has. So, for the left side, we're going to be using red wool and red stained clay. We're going to start here, on top of this white stained clay on the left side, and we're going to go up layer by layer. So the first layer is 2 red wool. The second layer is 1 stone, 1 light grey. This is currently the 4th layer of the body, the second layer of our colour. The next layer is 2 red stained clay. The next one is 1 red wool, 1 red stained clay. The next layer is 2 red wool. We then have 2 red stained clay. Next we have 1 red stained clay, 1 red wool. And then we have 3 layers of 2 red wool. And that is the left side complete. For the right side, what we're going to do is pretty much the exact same, layer by layer. So the first layer is 2 of the blue stained clay. We then have 1 light grey, 1 stone, so it's mirrored. And then we just go up layer by layer, placing 2 blue stained clay. So as you can see, once you've done that, it will look something like this, and that is the body complete. Now you may be wondering why I've added 2 shades of red and only 1 shade of blue, and that's simply because you can blend the red a lot easier compared to this colour, which you can't really blend as much. The closest one you could really blend would be this, and as you can see, it doesn't blend too well, it stands out a lot. If you wanted to though, you could go ahead and basically replicate the details that I added using the red stained clay with the light blue stained clay, but again, I don't think it blends too well, so personally, I'm just going to leave it as one tone. So again, that is a 12 by 8, 12 tall, 8 wide, and it goes from this yellow stained clay here right up to this top left corner. So if you want to pause, this would be a good time to do so. So what we're going to do before we move on to the arms is add the little 3D hair effect that we have at the front. Now compared to the normal hair effects we have on statues, this is very, very simple to do. So what we're going to do is go up to the top left corner, we're going to place 1 yellow stained clay, bring it down 1, and then down diagonal to the right. On the right side, again we're going to go top right corner, place 2 yellow stained clay, and go down diagonal to the left, and it's simply looking like that. It's very, very easy, and it just adds a little bit of 3D to it, but also adds a bit of detail when we finish the head. So anyways, with that said, what we're going to do now is move on to the left arm. So we come to the left arm, or what we've already started of it. Now if you haven't built this for whatever reason, you come up to the 13th layer, which will be the first layer of the body, which will be this layer of the belt, which is yellow and black, and you're going to build 4 to the left using white stained clay, with the third from left block being 1 light grey stained clay. So again, the arms are 12 tall, 4 wide, we're going to be doing it layer by layer. So again, the first layer from left to right is 2 white stained clay, 1 light grey, 1 white stained clay. The second layer is 4 white stained clay. The third layer is 4 red stained clay. The next layer is 4 red wool. We then have 3 light grey, 1 stone, and it will connect up diagonally to the stone right there. Next we have 2 layers of 4 red wool, a layer of red stained clay, a layer of 3 red wool, 1 red stained clay, again 3 red wool, 1 red stained clay, and then the final 2 layers is 1 red stained clay, 3 red wool. So again, 1 red stained clay, 3 red wool. And once you've done that, again that is a 12 by 4, should be looking like this. I don't like saying it as much as I do because I know some of you guys get frustrated by the constant repetition, but it is a good time to pause, so please do so. So the other arm is actually a tad different in the sense that again we're using 1 tone of colour, just the blue stained clay, rather than the red wool and the red stained clay. One exception is that the fact on the right arm there is a tiny bit of red at the bottom, but I'm going to explain that now. So heading over to the right arm now, again this is on the 13th layer, we go 4 blocks to the right, the first layer from left to right is 1 white stained clay, 1 light grey, 2 white stained clay. The second layer is 4 white stained clay, and the third layer we're going to place 1 red stained clay, 3 red wool. So it should look like this. The fourth layer is 4 blue stained clay, and then the fifth layer is 1 stone, 3 light grey. So currently, again, it is 5 tall. The next 7 layers is just 4 blue stained clay. So we do this, we just build up 4 blue stained clay, each layer for 7 layers. That will bring you to the same height as the top of the body, and once you've done that, you'll have something that looks like this. Again, it's very similar to the other side in the sense that the style of the light grey and the stone and the hands. However, again, there's the small details that are missing, like the 2 tones of colour, and also the red stained clay part at the bottom is just a single strip, whereas on the other side it's slightly different. So with that said, again that is the front of the statue complete. So again, currently it should be 24 tall, 16 wide, 8 wide if you are not including the arms. Who knows why you wouldn't be including the arms. But what we're going to do now is start making this 3D. So you're going to come to the bottom left corner and start working on the sides. So for the side, what we're going to do is go 1, 2, 3 to the left from the bottom left corner of the leg. We're going to work up layer by layer again, and it's 12 by 4. However, this row here is the 4th block, so we're only placing 3 blocks on each row. So starting from the bottom, the first layer is 3 black wool, as you can see here. The second layer is 1 light grey, 2 black wool. The next layer is 1 stone, 1 grey wool, 1 light grey. The next layer is 1 light grey, 1 grey, 1 stone. The next 7 layers is 3 white stained clay. And then the final layer is 3 red wool. That'll bring you to the top. That is a 12 by 4, as you can see right here. And the other side we can now skip round to is again a mirror, so if you want to skip ahead and do that, you can. But the one difference being at the top, instead of red wool, it is in fact our blue stained clay. So again, I'm going to go over it nevertheless, just in case. So what we do is we come around to the right side, we go 1, 2, 3 backwards. Again, it's 12 by 4, we should have an L shape. This block here, or this row here should I say, is the 4th block for each row, so we're only placing 3 blocks on each row. So again, going from left to right, each row, second row is 2 black wool, 1 light grey. The third row is 1 light grey, 1 grey, 1 stone. The next row is 1 stone, 1 grey, 1 light grey. And the next 7 layers is white stained clay. So 3 white stained clay on each one, and you'll know you've done it correctly because it should match up with the side block. And then the final layer, the 12th layer, is 3 blue stained clay. And that is the right side of the leg, as you can see here. And just from a side angle, this is the left side of the leg, again each one being 12 by 4. So once you've done that, we can now move on to doing the side of the arms. So what we're going to do to start off the side of the arms is come around to the rear of the statue, right here, and come to the bottom of the arms, each one the first layer of the white stained clay, and expand it backwards 1, 2, 3, all the way across. And if you come below, you'll notice it's a 4 by 4 square of white stained clay. We're now going to head over to this arm, do the exact same, expand it backwards 1, 2, 3, all the way across. As you can see, it's now a 4 by 4 square of white stained clay. Okie dokie, so we're going to start on the left side of the arm first. So this one here, and again, same as the leg, it's a 12 by 4. This row is the 4th block, so we're only placing 3 on each row. We're going to be going left to right, layer by layer. So the first layer, again, is white stained clay, same with the second. So that's 2 layers of white stained clay. The third layer is 1 red stained clay, 2 red wool. The next layer is 3 red wool. Then we have 1 light grey, 2 stone. We then have 2 layers of red wool. A layer of red wool. 3 red stained clay. The next layer, which is the one I just got confused about, is 1 red wool, 2 red stained clay. So I was going to have them swap the other way around, but in fact the first layer being solid red stained clay. Then we have 1 layer of red wool, 2 stained clay. The next layer is the exact same, 1 wool, 2 stained clay. And then the final 2 layers is 1 stained clay, 2 red wool. So again, 1 stained clay, 2 red wool. So apologies for that little confusion there. I don't think it probably would have thrown any of you guys off. I think it was more of a personal throw off. Confused me just a tad for a second there. But it is 12 tool, 4 wide again. And if you want to pause, you know what to do. So heading round to the other side now, the right arm. Again, layer by layer, left to right. This is the 4th block, 3 blocks per layer. I know I say it a lot, but I really want to drill it into your heads that this is what we're doing. So the first 2 layers is white stained clay. The third layer is 2 red stained clay, 1 red wool. The 4th layer is where we're going to need our blue stained clay. It's 3 blue stained clay. The next layer is 2 stone, 1 light grey. And then the final 7 layers is simply blue stained clay, and that will bring us up to the same height as the front of the body. And this is the right side of the arm complete. It's very, very simple. The right side of the body is generally a lot easier because we're only using one colour. So, as you can see here, it's starting to come together really nicely, starting to look really nice. However, if you come around to the rear of the statue, you'll notice a slight issue, is the fact that it's missing. So, we're going to work on this now, work on filling it in, starting on the back of the legs. So, for the back of the legs, again, layer by layer, it's 8 wide, 12 tall. However, row here equals 2. So, we're only going to be placing 6 blocks in each row in the middle, and that will equal 8 in total. So the first layer, in between the black wool, we're going to place 2 grey, 2 black wool, 2 grey. The second layer is 2 grey, 2 light grey, 2 grey. The third layer is 2 cyan, 2 stone, 2 cyan. And then the next layer is 2 stone, 2 light grey, 2 stone. The next 6 layers is white stained clay. So that's the first one. Second, that's the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth layer of white stained clay. The next layer, the second to last layer, the 11th layer, is 1 white stained clay, 2 blue stained clay, 2 red wool, 1 white stained clay, and then the last layer is 3 white, did I say white stained clay? 3 blue stained clay and 3 red wool. And it should link up perfectly, give you something that looks like this. Again, that is a 12 by 8. So, moving on now, we can now move on to the back of the body. Again, being a 12 by 8, we're going to go layer by layer. So, starting off on the left side, what we're going to do, we need our yellow stained clay. We're going to place 1 yellow stained clay, and it should be right next to this white stained clay block here. We place 6 black wool, and then 1 yellow stained clay, and again that should link up to the back of the left arm. On top of that, we're going to place 8 white stained clay, and on top of that we're going to place 4 blue stained clay and 4 red wool. So first 4 blue stained clay, and then 4 red wool. On top of this, we're going to place 1 stone, 6 light grey, 1 stone. And then what we're going to do is in the 2 middle blocks, so we're going to count 1, 2, 3, and on the 4th and 5th block we place 2 stone. Now this is again where it kind of separates. So on the left side we're going to have blue stained clay, on the right we're going to have our red. So on the left part of this 2 block of stone, so the first one, we're going to build up 7 using blue stained clay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you do it correctly, you can build across and it should link up perfectly to the same height as the front. So, these next 3 blocks next to it, we're going to build up 8 using blue stained clay, and again it will all come up to the same height, and that is the left side of the body complete. So again, that goes 8, 8, 8, 7, and then for the right side now, again we're going to have to do this layer by layer because we're using red stained clay and wool. So the first layer, this 3 blocks here, we're going to place 3 red stained clay. The second layer is 1 clay, 1 wool, 1 clay, 1 wool. The next layer is 1 clay, 3 wool. The next layer is 4 wool. Next we have 1 clay, 1 wool, 2 clay. We then have 1 clay, 1 wool, 1 clay, 1 wool. The next layer is 2 wool, 1 clay, 1 wool. And the final layer is 3 wool and 1 clay. So again, I'm going to back up and let you guys pause here if you want. I know that sometimes looking at it is a bit better than listening to my amazing voice talk about it. So I know that if you want to pause here, this would probably be a good time to do so. So anyways, backing up a bit, just so you have a visual of what it should be looking like so far. It's just the back of the arms we've got to work on now. So we've got the back of the right arm, the back of the left. We're going to work on the back of the right first. So again, 12 by 4, this row here is the 4th block, so we're only placing 3. The first layer is white stained clay, and the same for the second. The next layer, again left to right, is 2 red wool, 1 red stained clay. We then need our blue stained clay again. Next row is 3 blue stained clay. We then have 2 light grey, 1 stone, and then 7 layers of blue stained clay. So again, that will bring us up to the top. And then what we can go ahead and do is fill this whole area in here, the shoulders, using our blue stained clay. Now for this side we want to leave it empty because that's going to have a different pattern, but for now that is the back of the right arm complete. Again, a 12 by 4. So for the back of the left arm, again, first 2 layers is white stained clay. The third layer, again, we need to clean up my inventory a bit, is 3 red stained clay. Next layer is 3 red wool. We then have 1 stone, 2 light grey. The next layer is 2 stained clay, 1 red wool. The next layer is 3 red wool. We then have 3 stained clay. The next row is 1 stained clay, 2 red wool. Next row is 1 stained clay, 2 red wool. And then the final 2 rows is 3 red wool, sorry, apologies, not stained clay, red wool. I'm in the habit now of saying stained clay a lot, I guess. So, again, if you want to pause, this would be a good time. I'm saying this a lot, I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot, but I think it's definitely key to take your time and catch up when necessary. So anyways, what we're going to do now is we'll round to the front side, and we're going to go ahead and diagonally from this red stained clay here, we're going to place a red stained clay, same with this one. So it should be 2 red stained clay right here. On the furthest away one, so the one closer to the back side, we're going to go 1 to the right using red stained clay, and then we're going to fill the rest of this area in using red wool. And that's essentially the left shoulder, as you can see here, and then that's the right shoulder. So it's 16 wide and 4 deep, and that's what it should look like. So what we're going to do now is head back round to the rear of the statue because we're not actually done. So for this part, and I'm going to clear up my inventory a bit, we're going to need our hair colour. So we're going to need purple wool, magenta, pink, yellow stained clay, and then we're going to need blue wool, blue stained clay, and light blue stained clay. So this is all the colours just for the back of the hair where she has the highlights of pink and blue. And that's actually mad thinking that we're going to be using, 8 colours just for the hair. That's how crazy colourful the hair is, but that's also how much detail I've decided to put into it. So what we're going to do is, again, starting at the back side, we're going to go to the top left corner, which should be blue stained clay, and we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and on the 5th block we're going to place 1 yellow wool, 1 pink, 1 yellow stained clay. We're then going to leave a 2 block gap, and we're going to place 3 yellow stained clay. So this is where the 2 kind of like ponytails, or parts of hair come down. So essentially it's on the 1st, 2nd and 3rd block from the left on the body, 2 block gap, and then the 6th, 7th and 8th block. So essentially we're not building on the arms, just the body, and it's the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and then 6th, 7th, 8th. So we skip the 4th and 5th. We're going to start on the left one first. We're going to again do it layer by layer. So the second layer down is 1 magenta, 1 pink wool, 1 purple. Next we're going to place 1 pink, 1 magenta. The next row is 2 magenta. So again it gets thinner and thinner. The next row is 1 magenta, 1 purple. And then what we're going to do is go down diagonal like so, and that is the left part complete. For the right one now, the first layer again is 3 yellow stained clay, it should be a 2 block gap. The second layer is 1 blue wool, 1 light blue stained clay, 1 yellow stained clay. The next layer is 1 blue stained clay, 1 blue wool, 1 light blue stained clay. The next layer we're going to leave 1. We place 1 blue stained clay, 1 blue wool. Underneath that we place 2 blue stained clay. Underneath that we place 1 blue wool, and then we go 1 to the left using blue wool, and that is our hair complete. It's as simple as that, and it just looks really, really nice once you've added the head. It starts to come together and make a bit of sense. So, anyways, now what we're going to do is move on to the head, but before we do that, we're going to have a quick spin around, give you guys the last opportunity, I guess, to pause and catch up before we actually move on to the head. So, gonna get rid of all these blocks out of my inventory, or out of my hotbar, should I say. Get rid of my arm, chop it right off, and we're gonna do one last spin around where I state the, measurements and give you guys an opportunity to pause. I'm not gonna say every time you should pause, Again, that's up to you. Just hit the pause button whenever you feel it's necessary, but I'll give you as much opportunity as possible to do so. So this is the front of the legs, they're 12 by 8. This is the front of the body, again 12 by 8, with the front of each arm 12 by 4, and the 3D hair effects, which consists of 3 blocks on either side. On the left side, we have the left side of the leg, which is 12 by 4, with the left side of the arm, again, which is 12 by 4. We have the right side of the leg, 12 by 4, and we have the right side of the arm, again, 12 by 4. Coming around to the rear, we have the rear of the legs, 12 by 8. We have the rear of the body, 12 by 8, and the rear of each arm, 12 by 4, with the 3D hair effects, as you can see right here. On top, the shoulders, they're 16 by 4, 16 wide, 4 deep, and with that said, that is the body. Hopefully you have something looking like this. Again, it's 24 tall, and 16 wide, 8 wide if you're not including the arms. And yeah, what we're going to do now is move on to the head. So for the head, the main materials you're going to need, of course, is the 2 yellows. We're going to need our white stained clay, our quartz, our light blue stained clay, our red wool, and our blue wool. That's the main materials you're going to need. There might be 1 or 2 I'm forgetting, but just off the top of my head, that's the main ones. So what we're going to do is come to the front side, go to the top left corner, and we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks to the right, and on the 5th block we're going to place 1 yellow stained clay and bring it 2 forwards. We're going to do the exact same now on the right side, so we go to the right side, we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and on the 5th block, which should have this yellow stained clay in front, we're going to place yellow stained clay, bring it 2 forwards. Now if you've done it correctly, there should be a 6 block gap in between, which we're going to fill with white stained clay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, as you can see there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that will give you an 8 by 2 overhang, as you can see like this. So that's 6 blocks of white stained clay and 2 of yellow. Next, what we're going to do is come around to the sides, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 backwards, again using yellow stained clay, same with this side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and link them together by placing 6 yellow stained clay in between, and that will give you an 8 by 2 overhang of the rear side. But most importantly, that will give you an 8 by 8 square, and this is going to be the template we're going to be using for our head, face, left side, right side, rear side, and we're going to of course start off on the face. So the first layer of the face is 1 yellow stained clay, 6 white stained clay, 1 yellow. The second layer is 1 yellow stained clay, and we will potentially be punching this out. There's a few things we're going to change afterwards, but for now we're going to work like this. 1 quartz, 1 light blue stained clay, 2 white, 1 light blue, 1 quartz, 1 blue wool. The next row is 1 yellow stained clay, 1 quartz, 1 light blue, 2 white, 1 light blue, 1 quartz, 1 blue. The next layer is 1 yellow stained clay, 2 red wool, 2 white stained clay, 2 blue wool, 1 yellow stained clay. The next layer is 1 yellow stained clay, 6 white, 1 yellow stained clay. The next layer is again 1 yellow stained clay, 6 white, 1 yellow. And the final 2 layers is 8 yellow stained clay. So once you've done that, you'll have something that looks like this, and that is 8 by 8, so 8 tall, 8 wide. Now right now it looks really weird and really plain, however we're going to work on fixing that right now. So the way we're going to do that is by adding a bunch of 3D hair effects. So we're going to start on the left side, in the bottom left corner, we're going to go up 1. On the second block, which should be to the left of this quartz block, we're going to place 1 yellow stained clay. Above that, 1 yellow wool, 1 yellow stained clay, 1 yellow wool, 1 yellow stained clay. We're then going to go 1 to the right, using again yellow stained clay, 1 to the right using yellow wool. Up 1 using yellow stained clay. To right 1 using yellow stained clay. Up 1 using yellow wool. So I'll back up just to give you a progress, pause. 2 to the left using yellow stained clay, 1 down using yellow wool, and 1 to the left using yellow stained clay. That is the first half complete. For the right side now, what we're going to do is go to the, of course, the right side. And we're going to count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And on the 5th block, which should be up diagonal from this blue wall here, we're going to go up 1, 2, 3 using yellow stained clay. We go 1 to the left. We go up 1 using yellow wool. 1 to the left with yellow stained clay. Down 1 with yellow wool. Down 1 yellow stained clay. And then link back to this original part here with 1 yellow wool. And once you've done that, it will look something like this. As you can see, it's starting to look a tad nicer. So, this is the face. If you want to pause, you're more than welcome to. Again, that's an 8x8 square. And then we've got our 3D effects to build on top, which look really, really nice. So now what we're going to do is come around to the left side, and we're going to start working on the left side of the head. So again, we're going to make a few changes. So starting on the first layer, we come to the left side, we punch out the second block, replace with yellow wool, and then we punch out the 6th and 7th block and replace with white stained clay. So the first layer consists of 1 yellow stained clay, 1 yellow wool, 3 stained clay, 2 white stained clay, and then 1 yellow stained clay. Again, we're going to be going up layer by layer, and it's going to be pretty easy to follow. At least I hope it is for you guys. So let's begin. So starting off, we're going to start on the left side. First layer is again 1 yellow stained clay, yellow wool, 3 stained clay, 2 white stained clay, 1 yellow stained clay. The second layer is 3 yellow stained clay, 2 yellow wool, 1 yellow stained clay, 1 white stained clay, and then we're going to replace this one with yellow wool. The next layer is 3 yellow wool, 2 yellow stained clay, 1 yellow wool, 1 white stained clay. The next layer is 1 yellow wool, 3 yellow stained clay, 1 yellow wool, 1 yellow stained clay, 1 yellow wool. The 5th layer is 1 yellow stained clay, 1 wool, 1 clay, 2 wool, 1 clay, 1 wool. The next layer, the 6th layer, is 3 clay, 1 wool, 3 clay, and then we're going to punch this one out here and place 1 wool. The 7th layer is 1 wool, 1 clay, 2 wool, 1 clay, 2 wool. And the last but not least row or layer is 1 wool, 1 clay, 2 wool, 2 clay, 1 wool. Once you've done that, you'll have an 8x8 square, this point to this point, and then of course you've got the 3D effect at the front, which kind of connects onto it, but this is what it looks like at this point. And we're now going to go around to the right side and pretty much do the exact same. In fact, I'm pretty sure it is in fact a mirrored copy, but again, I'm going to go over it nevertheless. So again, this is the left side. I'm going to go head round to the right side. So again, similar to what we did on the left side, what we're going to do is come to the first layer and start correcting a few things. So second block from left and the third block is white stained clay, and then the 7th block is yellow wool. Again, we're going to be going up layer by layer. So the first layer is 1 yellow stained clay, 2 white stained clay, 3 yellow stained clay, 1 wool, 1 stained clay. The second layer, we start off with the blue wool. We then have 1 white stained clay, 1 yellow stained clay, 2 yellow wool, 3 stained clay. The third layer is again 1 white stained clay, 1 wool, 2 stained clay, 3 wool. The fourth layer is 1 wool, 1 clay, 1 wool, 3 clay, 1 wool. The next layer is 1 wool, 1 clay, 2 wool, 1 clay, wool, clay. The next layer is starting off punching out this one, replacing with 1 wool, 3 clay, 1 wool, 3 clay. The next layer is 2 wool, 1 clay, 2 wool, clay, wool. And the final layer is 1 wool, 2 clay, 2 wool, 1 clay, 1 wool. Again, once you've done that, that is an 8x8 square, minus that little 3D effect there. And this is the right side of the head complete. So now what we're going to do is come around to the rear side of the head and start working on that. So, again, it's an 8x8 square, however we have a row here already done, same with this one, so we're only placing 6 blocks in each row. So starting at the bottom row, what we're going to do is punch out the 2nd, 4th, and then 7th block and replace all with yellow wool. So the first layer is 1 yellow stained clay, 1 wool, 2 clay, 1 wool, 1 clay. The second layer is 2 wool, 2 clay, 2 wool. The third layer is 1 clay, 1 wool, 1 clay, 2 wool, 1 clay. The fourth layer is 2 clay, 1 wool, 3 clay. The next layer is 2 clay, 1 wool, 1 clay, 1 wool, 1 clay. The next layer is 2 wool, 1 clay, 1 wool, 1 clay, 1 wool. The 7th layer is 1 wool, 2 clay, 2 wool, 1 clay. And the last and 8th layer is 2 clay, 3 wool, and 1 clay. So once you've done that, it will look something like this. But what we're going to go ahead and do is get our red wool and we're going to add 2 bows. So starting on the bottom left corner, what we're going to do is go up 1, 2, 3, 4, and on the 5th block, which will be this yellow wool, we're going to place 1 red wool, go up diagonal and then down diagonal, and that is bow number 1. For the right side, we're going to just head over to the right on the 4th block, we're going to place 1 red wool, go up and then down, and that is bow number 2. So simply, it's just 3 red wool on the left and right side, and that's bow 1 and bow 2. So now what we're going to do is go to the top of the head, and you're presented with something that looks like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off at the back and work our way forwards. So the first layer, the back layer, is 1 wool, 1 stained clay, 3 wool, 2 clay, 1 wool. The second layer is 1 clay, 1 wool, 1 clay, 2 wool, clay, wool. And of course there should be a clay here. So each row again is only 6 blocks. So the next one is 1 wool, 2 clay, wool, 2 clay. The next row is 2 clay, 1 wool, 1 clay, 2 wool. The next row is 2 wool, and then 4 clay. The next row is 1 clay, 2 wool, 2 clay, 1 wool. Second to last row is 1 wool, 2 clay, 2 wool, 1 clay. And then the final row, which is this row here, which appears to be already done. However, we're going to make a few changes. The third block and then the 6th block are both yellow wool. So we just replace those 2 blocks right there. And once you've done that, it will look like this. And that is the top of the head complete. Now, theoretically, that would be the tutorial complete. However, we're going to add a little baseball bat because she has her baseball bat in the film. What I'm going to do before I add that, though, is do a little spin around of the head. And then you can pause if you need to. So again, bear in mind, each side is 8x8x8. However, or 8x8, but the head is 8x8x8. That wouldn't make sense if each side was 8x8x8 because then it'd be 3D, but they're all flat surfaces. But never mind. Anyways, so the front, as you can see here, we've got the 3D effect. That is like separate, external, but the main head itself is 8x8. So, again, this is the front side. We then have the left side. Again, feel free to pause whenever you feel is necessary. The rear side. And the right side. And, of course, last but not least, the top side. So, also, one thing I want to point out is, as I was saying earlier, the back of the hair kind of blends really well. As you can see here, once you've built the back of the head, it looks super, super nice. And, as I said, blends really nicely. So, with that said, what we're going to do now is add the bat. So, the 2 materials you're going to need for this is the oak wood stairs and the spruce wood stairs. What we're going to do, if I can't get past the arm that is come to the front side and to the left hand. And we're going to start off on the first row. We're going to go up 1 to the second row and to the second block. And we're going to place an upside down spruce stair facing towards the left. and then we're going to face 1 to right on the third block. On the third layer, second block and third block, we're going to have a normal stair facing towards the left and a normal stair facing towards the right, and it will give you a shape that looks like this. Now we're going to go around to the back side now and replicate this. So heading around to the back of the left arm, we're going to come to the, again, second row, and we're going to have a upside down stair facing towards the left. Third block, we're going to have an upside down stair facing towards the right, like this. And then on the third layer, again, on top, 1 to the left, 1 to the right, facing normal. Now you could make this too thick if you really wanted to, but I'm going to make it, in fact I will make it too thick, using the spruce wood. And again, it just makes it look like she's gripping onto the bat more, and also it's kind of representing the part of the bat that sticks out the back, the little handle part basically. So anyways, what we're going to do is go back round to the front sides. Currently we have 3 rows of spruce, so 2 at the back, 1 at the front. What we're going to do is extend the front part forwards 7 blocks using oak. So basically, on the bottom left corner, we're going to place 7 oak wood stairs facing upside down, facing towards the left. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It can be a bit fiddly, so bear that in mind. Bottom right corner, we're going to have 7 facing towards the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Again, it's easier once you place the original ones. And on top of that, again, normal one facing towards the left and normal one facing towards the right. So essentially the bat sticks out 8 blocks from the front of the statue, and it will look like this. Again, I was playing around with the bat design for quite a while, and that's the best I could really get it without it looking really clunky. I used stairs so it was like a bit more rounded, but again, it looks like this from the end, and it's 8 wide, 7 blocks of oak and 1 of spruce, and then round the back you've got, of course, the end of the bat, which is 2 spruce. So from a side angle, if I can back it up a bit, it will look like this. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I do hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you did have any issues with it, then go back in the video, see where you went wrong. If that still doesn't work, then feel free to leave a comment down below and I'll try and help you. But again, hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, definitely consider leaving a like. A lot of work went into this. I spent not only a lot of time designing it, but also this tutorial, of course, is relatively long. But again, check out the playlist down below, as well as the Joker statue if you haven't already seen it. With that said, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, my name has been Tom Gummy, and goodbye.
In the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through.